Right, so today we're going to talk about some of the golf terminology. You might have heard me and Jack, when we've hit golf shots in the past, talk about a flat top or a shank or an up your nose kind of golf shot. So we want to try and explain those a little bit more for you. So those of you that aren't used to that terminology would know what we're talking about, as it were. So what are you going to have a go with first?
First one's going to be a flat top. Basically, a flat top is when you hit the top of the golf ball, ball goes flat along the ground. So I've got a 3-wood here for the purposes of this. Ball will get no air time really, significant loss of distance.
So basically it's when the golf club hits the top of the golf ball. You good at that one? Is that the one you play under the wind?
Next one's going to be the sky, complete opposite. Get straight underneath the golf ball. Ball goes ridiculously high in the air, no distance, almost comes down with snow on it. That's your sky, or your up your nose shot, really, very much so. So we'll try and sky it if we can. Traditionally, people tee up a little bit too high, go underneath the ball a little bit, and it leaves a pretty nasty mark on the top of your club. We call it a roof mark, for those of you that don't know. So I'm going to give that a go now. That is the best example I think I could have done. Look at the mark on my 3-wood now. See the good ball mark there? Not wonderful. And you can see on the SkyTrack, come and have a look at that SkyTrack data. Straight up in the air, 37 degrees. Looks like a lob shot. That is your best example again.
This shot here, very common shot in golf, is called the fat. So basically, this is when we hit the golf ball, hit the ground before the golf ball. And again, traditionally, it takes a lot of distance off the ball, doesn't go particularly far. So I'm going to attempt this one. Personal favourite of mine, this one.
Wow, lots of ground on that. A thin being the total opposite. So as Matt's just done there, might be conscious of hitting the ball slightly fat. So I'm going to try and make my contact point a little bit closer to the ball. Matt's just destroyed my club with mud on it. But this time the strike point will be, I won't get any ground at all. I'll hit maybe the middle of the ball with the leading edge of the club, and this is a bit of a finger stinger in the middle of the winter as well. Let's give the thin a go. Oh, also ball flight really low. Again, no flight, really, really low, so the ball won't even get off the ground. Oh, bit more topspin on it, it will run out, but that was quite a good example of the thin. Right, last one, the shank.
So the shank is quite a common shot. We're all a bit nervous of the shanks, or the J. Arthurs as they can be also called.
What do they say? It's the closest thing to a perfect shot, which is the biggest load of garbage ever.
Basically, the striking point, obviously traditionally you want to hit the sweet spot, but in this instance we hit it out the hosel, and it just has this awful looking low right kind of ball flight to it, which is, yeah, something we're going to try and take on now.
Good example.
Hurt my hands though.
I won't be having a go at that due to the fact that Matt nearly broke his hand there. Bit of terminology for you. Just 5 examples there of some common phrases you might hear on the golf course. We'll do a couple more on the putting green at another time, but you've got your fat and thin, which really are bad connections, bad strikes, bad contact with the ball. You've got a sky and a top again, which is bad contact, but will significantly affect the flight of the ball. Sky going really high, a flat top going really, really low. And the last one, a shank, as Matt so beautifully demonstrated, hitting the ball out of the hosel and the ball going horribly low and horribly to the right. So if you hear those words, you've got a rough idea as to what they mean.